Howdy everybody, I'm Richard Calmes, and welcome to my first podcast live on Facebook. And today we're going to play around with some dancers and some ideas, and I'm going to show you the way I work with dancers. The first thing I want to tell you about is the setup. Let's look at the lights. Can we back up just a little bit so that I can show you the setup? I have two side lights, and I have one overhead light. And as you can see, we have a white floor and a white background. This floor is not paper. This floor is actually marley, which is what they use in stages and in dance studios. It's actually black on the other side, so that you've seen a lot of my shots that have a black background and a black floor. That's the same floor, just flipped over. Now, I was an architect in a first life, and I always have a plan. In my plan for today, I made some sketches, and I'm going to show you these sketches, if you can see them, and you can see how professionally drawn they are. And all they are is just ideas about what we're going to do. So I bring sketches, and this is one of my books, and the dancers will look through the books and they'll see things I've done before. And what I've learned a long time ago is that you can't really copy poses. You see something, it's an idea, and you start with that and you see how you progress. So I've got a couple of ideas that we're going to start with, and we're going to see how we progress. So let me show you the rest of the setup. This is my wife, Holly, and she manages the computer, and because of her extensive dance background, she also polices the position of the dancers, so to make sure that they're in beautiful positions, because the last thing we want is for a dancer to have a picture for posterity that's actually a bad ballet. When I first started this 12 years ago, there were, let's say, Lois Greenfield was one, and a couple of other photographers, and that's pretty much it 12 years ago. Since then, I am happy to say that there are photographers all over the world, literally probably 100 of them, shooting dancers all the time. And I don't mind at all. Some of them actually start with ideas that I've worked with, and then they develop their own thing. But the more dancers that are seen in pictures, the better it is for dance. Years ago, you never saw a dancer in a TV commercial. Now I'm seeing ballerinas and tutus in TV commercials. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's so many pictures of dancers out there. So you photographers that are watching today, doesn't bother me a bit for you to take pictures. Start with ideas you've seen that I've done, and then make them better than what I do. It doesn't bother me. Make the dancers look beautiful. Speaking of dancers, we've got the 4 dancers up on the stage here. This is my set. Introduce yourself, no last names, just give us your first names.
Hi, I'm Jessie. Hi, I'm Rita.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Carrington.
And we've already been playing around for a little while, and they're all warmed up and stretched. And we're going to work on some ideas. Actually, ideas that I brought in my sketches today. So, first of all, I think we want to change costumes. Could you come, and we're going to put you in a different costume. You're in a white leotard. You know, I think you would look great in blue, and you'd be small because you're small, right? So why don't you take this, and I've got a blue skirt somewhere around here. There it is. Okay, put on the blue skirt and this, and leave your point shoes on and come back. Now let's see, what else do we have here? We have Colin's in white shorts, and Rita's in red. Rita, why don't you put on a red skirt to go with that? I think I may have one. And we'll see what that looks like. And you look great in that white skirt. So why don't we start with Jessica? I'm going to start with Jessica in this white skirt. And what we are going to do is a batna. And except I want you to actually hold part of the dress in your hand on the other side.
Okay.
And you do that, what's your good leg? Which leg?
My right
dancers
leg,
have
my
a
good
good leg, and so you got to always ask.
The right leg.
Okay, right leg's a good leg. Now, let me show you my camera setup. My fantastic assistant, Brad, has figured out all these places to put the camera, and he's pivoting it around now. I have a 1DS Mark III, which I've been using for my studio work for quite a while. I shoot live performances and things and outside with a 1DX Mark II, but I like this for my studio. I control those lights with a Pocket Wizard, and this is my go-to lens, the 70-200 f2.8. I use this lens. If I could only have one lens in the world, this is it. So what we're going to do, and are you ready up there?
I'm ready.
Okay, what we're going to do is, first of all, there's a sweet spot in this lighting. If you go too far back, go upstage, you'll notice how she becomes flat in the lighting. Comes down stage a little bit further, and now you notice how she has three-dimensional lighting. There's more shadow. I prefer this kind of lighting. Also, we have an overhead light. So when you do your batna, you need to make sure that light lights your face. Okay, so you're going to turn the headlight light. Okay. So now we're going to go back, and we're going to try one. Hello. Okay. She's going, everybody watch her now. You're going to hold the skirt out at the end. Pretty fingers like a ballerina. Don't hold it like a rascal. Okay. Now, hundreds of people have asked me, do I take multiple shots? No. I take one snap. And if I mess it up, then I do it again. So hopefully I can catch her foot at the top. Ready? All right, that looks good, except I'd like you to hold your arm out a little bit, not that far, but out a little further, yes, like that. And you dropped it when you did your batna. I'm trying to get the fabric to be a nice curve all the way around. Ready? There we go. That is beautiful. Now let's look at it on the computer. And of course the dancers always want to see what they look like. And I've never seen a dancer yet that didn't find something wrong with the picture.
All right, people at home, this is his assistant, Brad. I've seen a question for the flooring. It's called Marley.
Marley is plastic. It's vinyl. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and it's very heavy. I don't use paper because paper can rip. And I don't want a dancer jumping, landing on the floor in point shoes, and slipping, and the paper ripping, and we end up with a hurt dancer. So open this up. My camera is connected to my laptop, and we are going straight into bridge. So let's look at her face. The first thing I always want to do is see the face. Beautiful. Now, I would like, see how this is dark down here? I would like her to tilt her head back a little further so that that overhead light lights that cheek. So let's go do it one more time and light that cheek. So you get in position and lights up there. Beautiful. All right, tilt the head down. Put that cheek so that the light warms that cheek. Ready? What was that sound?
Yeah, I was in like a really weird position.
She didn't do good, so she knows she needs to do it again. So let's do it again. Ready? All right, she really got her leg up there that time.
Oh, pretty. Really pretty.
Now another way I can light her chin or cheek is by moving her up stage. So let's go up stage a little bit. And now come down just a little bit. And now let's do the same thing. I use upstage and downstage because that's what dancers have heard since they were 3 years old.
People at home, sorry for the shakiness in between tripods, but we don't have a gimbal here, so.
Ready? All right. Let's look at it over here on the computer. And while this is going on, I'm usually talking to another dancer and getting the other dancer ready. So why don't we go with
What do you think?
blue?
Remember that bottom foot?
Yeah,
isn't
I'm
as
thinking
nice.
that's not quite your,
My foot was better than the other one.
yeah.
Go back to the other one.
That one's lovely.
Let's go with the one that she likes.
Okay, we're gonna go to the beginning. Here's the first one we did.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
My top
I do
one.
too. Yeah, this is really pretty up
Yeah.
here. That
Oh,
flows.
yeah.
That really flows. Sometimes it's not the perfection of the dance; it's the energy and the graphics. That one is too dark. This one, that's pretty, but
It's that bottom
Yeah,
foot.
it's the
but
bottom
I
foot.
liked the one with the dress. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the best one.
All right, so you just saw what happens at every single one of these. We start with something, we work with the idea, and I usually let the dancer make the final decision. Sometimes my wife and I try to talk them into something, but today I'm sure we don't need to. So let's go with, okay, we're going to go with the blue. Miss Blue is all dressed now. All right, let me get my cheat sheet here. What should we do with you? I know, let's go with what I call a butterfly.
Richard, if there's technical questions, like someone's asking about the settings using and the shutter speed and lights, do you want?
I'll say it in a minute, I'll say it the next time I get behind the camera.
Okay. Also, folks at home, at the end of this little presentation, we're going to have a little sit down where we can you can ask Richard questions and he will respond back to questions asked.
I'm demonstrating. Okay? I want you to hold it out at the end.
Normally, when he demonstrates, I like to capture pictures, but I'm manning the video this time.
We haven't gotten our.
Okay, now hold it at the seams. Okay. Now you saw how I demonstrated this. Hopefully, do you understand what I want you to arch? Okay. And she wants to know if to let go. Let go as you get up to the top of your arms. Like this. Okay? Okay?
We have a hello
Now
from
lights
Poland.
up there.
We have a hello from Poland.
Hello, Poland.
Hello, Poland. Okay. The settings that I have are ISO 100, 200th of a second, because that's the fastest shutter that the camera will sync with these flash. And I have it set right now on F11. So there's a good amount of depth of field.
And we're using Einstein, Paul Seebuff Einstein lights.
Ready? All right. Let's give a little bit, hold the skirt a little longer and more arch.
More arch.
Uh-huh. Turn a little bit flatter. No, the other way. That's it.
Profile.
Profile. But not 100% profile because I want to see the right arm. Ready? That is pretty.
Oh, that's nice. Look at that.
Show it. Brad showed what we're getting, but I want to get more arch to the body.
Yeah, we need a little bit more arch to the body, although every picture has its fun qualities about it. I love her hair.
Like that.
Beautiful arms,
Does everybody
pretty
see what I'm
arm.
doing? That's what I want.
And we have New Jersey, Jamaica, Tel Aviv, Bulgaria, several hellos.
Hello to everybody.
Everybody around the world.
Here we go. Ready? Oh, much better. Much better. Now, have you shown what we're getting on the computer?
Yes.
We just did.
Okay. I love the skirt in that one. Let's do it one more time. I like to get 2 or 3 shots before we look at it, because she's in a flow now. She knows she's got a feel for what she's doing. Give me more arch, feet further back. Don't bend your knees though.
The lens is the 70 to 200.
Ready? Oh, yes. Body position 10, skirt 5. So let's get skirt 10, body position 10, and we'll have it.
Keep your feet together.
All right, folks at home, when we're doing this, sometimes the dancers' positions are absolutely perfect, but the fabric doesn't cooperate, so we'll do several takes to get better fabric.
Okay, put your hair over there on the
Yeah,
other side.
The strobes are equal, yes.
Right side. Put your hair on the right side. There you go. Okay. Ready?
Oh, that was good.
Oh, that's perfect. Everybody look at this one. If Brad can go down to the computer.
wow.
Mike says fabric does what fabric does.
That is really nice.
You like that? Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to open it up, or?
Yeah, let's open it up and blow up the face. Blow up the face.
Oh, it's gonna pop. There you go.
Beautiful.
Pretty.
Now in post, I will lighten her hair. There's a lot more highlights in that hair than are showing right now. So in post, I'm going to lighten that hair so there's more vibrance to it. Thank you. That was great. Okay, do we have another victim? Let's do the guy. We got a guy
Richard,
here.
stay right where you're at. Richard's favorite saying is, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Can you read what's on the back of my shirt? Sometimes I have to say that because we're trying and we're not getting it. But it's going to be worth it. And so somebody made me this shirt and gave it to me because they heard me say that so many times. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Now, I would like to say that I have never had a dancer give up or quit on an idea. We try and we're not getting it. And if I see that we're not getting it, we're not progressing, then we go on to something else because I don't want a dancer to get hurt. And if we're not getting it, we're not going to get it. So what are you going to do?
So, question for you guys at home asked about the freezing the motion.
all right.
The flash duration is what freezes the motion. That's why we use the Einstein flashes.
Yeah, the flashes right now are set so that it's about 1/4000th of a second. Okay, he's going to do what's called an Italian pot shot. And remember we had this overhead light, so I need for you to...
The timing would be
give me a little
Richard's
bit.
experience with dance
Okay.
and knowing when to capture the perfect moment.
Okay.
That's the real secret here, is him pushing the shutter at the exact moment that they're at the peak of their jump or their performance. That they're
Well, I don't always get it. Sometimes I mess up. This particular pose is very hard to catch because he's going to bring his bottom foot up. And so all I'm going to think about right now when he's doing that is I'm going to watch that bottom foot. I'm going to try to catch that bottom foot at the very top. But that means my brain has to snap before his foot gets into position because it takes my brain, my finger, the camera, there's a delay. So now that I've gone and said all of that, I hope that I am able to capture him. Ready? I did it! And he did it. The thing is,
Beautiful.
that is,
Folks, this is what
okay, bring it up in bridge, and let's come on down here, Colin, and look at it. I think he may be one and done. Blow up that foot. Just the foot. Folks, look at that foot. Now I will lighten that foot a little bit in post. There's light there, but it needs to be brought out. Look at that foot. That is an amazing foot. So open it back out so he can, so just outline just, there you go. Fantastic, one and done. Way to go. Give me this. All right. Who else? Next victim. Who's the next victim? You? You know, let's lose that skirt, because I have an idea of using the fabric. You mentioned to me that you could do a key tree jump.
Yes.
Does everybody know what a key tree jump is? She's going to do a key tree jump, but I'm going to make it a lot more difficult because we're going to use a piece of fabric, and we're going to use my assistant, my noble assistant, Brad, is actually going to have to be involved in this. All right, so what we're going to do, just do the jump and don't do it full out. See, everybody, this is a key tree jump. Back attitude. Okay? It happens pretty fast. Now what I'm going to try to do is catch that back foot at the top. But we're going to make it harder. So let's hold this fabric in your left hand, I guess.
Swap maybe the leg on this hand.
You want to get on the other side of the light? And where are you going to look? Excellent. Okay, now,
with both hands.
let me tell you, fabric and hair can be the most frustrating things in the world to work with because it's different every time. You can get the fabric working right and the hair is wrong. You get the hair and the fabric right and the position is wrong. So whenever you see a dancer and a picture of a dancer, and they've got fabric and the fabric is beautiful, you just remember that they didn't get that in one take. That it probably took a bunch of tries, and maybe the photographer might have thrown his camera against the wall before it was over with. But hopefully we can get this pretty quick. All right. Could you try to throw the fabric up so we can get the idea of the fabric? No, you're going to have to throw it higher than that.
Ball it up.
Ball it up and throw it up in the air. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not going to have you guys here all night if we don't get this thing the first couple of tries. Okay, now I want you to come down stage. And remember where your light is. It's up here. Okay. Here we go. Now, you're not going to... Brad's behind... He's engaged right now, so you can't watch me shoot. So... Ready? Okay. Now, this is what happened. I can see that the fabric was in a big wad and was not going to fan out. So I really just kind of marked it. And the shot just doesn't get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it again. And this time, throw the fabric up higher. And hopefully it'll work. But we don't want to bore people with, doing this 100 times. Go to move toward the mirrors a little bit so I've got more room, a little more. Keep going. There we go. Ready. All right. This is actually could be a keeper. So,
Yes.
yes, did I hear a yes?
Yes.
Yes, a big yes. Come
Okay.
here, look at this. Beautiful.
so pretty.
Aren't you happy?
Yeah, I'm really
That's
happy.
great, darling. You did great. Look at that pretty leg and
That's
foot
so pretty.
and everything.
The
That's
fabric.
lovely. All right.
Now, sometimes when we've got a good one like this, I risk fate and try it one more time. But we know we've got this one, guys. So we're going to try it one more time for the fabric, not for her. This is all about the fabric. She's doing her jump beautifully.
It's exciting when you get a really good one. We're all so happy for the dancers as well as for ourselves.
So let's move a little more toward the mirror so I've got more room behind you for the fabric. And before I go any further, I'd like to mention that we are in a dance studio. And that's where I do all of my shooting because dancers, they've spent most of their lives in them. But the floor is a cushioned floor. It's a dance floor, which I put my floor on top of. And we are in North Atlanta. And I'm going to name the name of the school because they have been so nice to let this space be available to me. It's Tolbert Yilmaz Dance School. And they are fantastic to let me use this space. I do it on Sunday because that's when generally the space is available. Spaces in studios are at high premium all during the week. So most of my shoots are on Sunday. So let's go back and see if we can get this fabric in a different position. You ready, Brad?
Yep.
Everybody's ready, okay? Ready. The fabric looks great and she looks great. We've been lucky twice in a row. I think I was a hair late snapping. I think she actually got her foot a little higher, but since the other one was so good, we're gonna let.
I don't know. Yeah, this is the best one.
The first one is the best one, so let's go back and forth between the two so that everybody can see. This was the fabric on the last one, and then the one before that we all like. That fabric looks better. Her body position, of course,
yeah,
is
and
great.
her leg's
Her
better.
front leg is straight and has a beautiful position. Okay, do I have another victim?
That was the last one.
Have I used everybody? All right, it's been 27 minutes, and I was wondering, I didn't want to make this thing longer than 30 minutes. So, Brad, are there any questions that you can send in on Facebook? Brad will ask me what they are. He's trying to get the camera set up.
All right, folks, let me get to the questions here. And
Yes, you guys can go on down stage there and take a break for a second. Thank you. You were beautiful. Now, when this is over, I'm actually going to torture them some more.
all right, folks, if you have questions, please go ahead and start. Richard, someone wants to know how to get in contact with you.
RichardCalmes.com. Richard@RichardCalmes.com.
Also, any timing advice during a live performance?
During a live performance,
Yes.
I don't shoot live performances. I shoot dress rehearsals. The reason is I can get in the best position in the house, usually on about the 10th row center. And any performance is going to have terrible lighting. That's why I use the 1DX Mark II. It's great for low light situations. The only thing I can say about any is you've got to shoot a lot of dances and learn the timing and learn choreography. I've shot 5 full-length ballets in March. And if you look on my site under the performance galleries, there are 80 performance galleries there.
Another question is someone want to know, when did you add the overhead light?
I've had the overhead light for quite a while, on and off. And I like the overhead light. It's on a boom. And the thing is, some poses don't work because the dancer likes to look down or off to the side.
Someone asked, talk about all your books. How many books do you have?
I have 3 books, and you can order. They're expensive, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, but you know the big printing houses have not come to me and said, "Boy, do a book for us, and we'll make it really cheap." Unfortunately, the books are printed on demand, but the good thing is they ship all over the world, and you can order the books from my site, RichardCalmes.com. You can also preview the book on that site.
Another person asked, do these techniques interpret to natural light?
Yes, but of course in natural light, you can't control. You got to understand the natural light you're working with, and place the dancer in the best position to take it. Like, for instance, if you're talking about window light coming in from the side, and they're inside, I know you might have said outside. Outside, you're going to get a lot more light. And outside is a whole different ball game. And if you look on my site, you'll see that I've done outside in cities and I've done outside in nature. Basically, you go out and you scout it in advance at the time of days that you want to shoot. You find the locations, you make extensive notes, and then you plan your shoot.
Another person asked, what sort of impact are you seeing with the overhead light, and what drove you to it?
I like to be able to focus the eye and the attention of the eye more to the dancer, and the overhead light makes that happen better.
Does the the octabox that's on near the table is just for the video, folks. That's so you can see Richard and be able for the video.
That's just lighting me and lighting the table and my beautiful wife Holly.
What do you look for in your subjects?
Well, they need to be trained dancers. That means ballet since the age of 3 or 4. And they need to be flexible. They need to have explosive strength, like all of these. The dancers are over here going, yeah, me, I've got that. They need explosive strength because you've seen 2 jumps. And that flexibility, you've seen how in the Batma, bringing the leg all the way up. If I tried that, it would break, and you would have to send me to a hospital. So you have to be extremely flexible. So that's what I look for. And, of course, classical training. And generally, I work with dancers. Dancers now, after 12 years, they know who I am. They've seen my work. And I love to work with dancers. Before I go any further, let me tell you that I am old, as you can see. And this is my retirement golf. I don't play golf. And so shooting dancers is my biggest enjoyment in retirement life. That is my golf.
Another question from Joe. Do you always use a tripod in the studio?
Not always. Sometimes I get up on a ladder, but I don't have the ladder here today. And sometimes I get in different positions. But because I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it's better to have the camera someplace stable where I'm not picking it up and putting it down all the time. But I'm continually going from the camera to the set, back to the camera to the set.
So we have a couple more. We got multiple people have asked, have you considered doing a workshop? We have somebody asking if we would go to Spain and do a workshop.
Yes.
Yes, fly me to Spain.
Another person says, do you hire interns or apprentices?
I do not hire interns. Over the years, I have maybe once a month, I get an email request to be an intern. And I like I said, this is my retirement golf. I do this strictly for the joy of doing it. I do some commercial shoots for clothing manufacturers and others. But other than that, I don't sell anything except my books. And they don't sell really that well because wait till you see how expensive they are. So, next question.
Let's see. We got a lot of... what were the settings again? A couple more people just asking for the settings on the camera.
Okay, the camera, it's a 70 to 200 f2.8. And it's set right now at f8. I think it's f8. It might be f10.
Brazil wants us to come to Brazil
It's actually set at f11 right now. It's set at f11, so I get a lot of depth of field and 200th of a second, but that doesn't mean anything. What counts is the strobes or the flashes, and they're set down about 4 stops, so that it's 4,000th of a second. They will go up to 12,000th of a second, but the light is so dim that it's not enough to be able to shoot by.
And the last final question, there's a whole bunch more up, way, way, way up, but a person would, Jamie Kuntz asked, if a dancer wants portraits done by you, can the dancer contact you, or do you choose your subjects?
I choose my subjects, and I'm not in business. So, you know, if I prefer, when I do shoot, advanced students or professionals. Today we have 1 professional and 3 extremely advanced students.
Then a person asked, are you willing to work with an aerialist?
I have done some aerial work. You will see on my site, there's a Cirque de Symphony where I worked with some Cirque dancers. And in one of the studios here, there's actually some silks attached to the ceiling. And I keep thinking that, yeah, I'm going to do some silks and some aerial work at some point soon.
And lots of great jobs, lots of hearts, lots of thank you for sharing, Richard.
Well, thank you all for being here, and I hope you weren't too bored. And based on how well we did with this, I might do another one. But thank you very much. And turn around here to the dancers. Let's everybody see the dancers, because it's them that do the hard work. They actually do the work. And so thank you guys very much. You were beautiful. Okay, Brad, sign us off.
And we're out.